Welcome to Luxe World. We are featuring Tanushree Hazarika ma'am, the entrepreneur, 3x founder, and the strong force behind marketing, brand storytelling, and digital content creation. Welcome, ma'am. Thank you for joining us. Ma'am, first of all, I would like to know from working for Fidelity and Morgan Stanley in US to starting your entrepreneurial journey back in India, what was your force of motivation that helped you take a leap of faith, especially in the creative fields?
I think as a young kid, I always wanted to go study outside and all, and I'm grateful that I also had the family support to send me outside. I studied outside in the US. It was a great experience. I also worked for a couple of years. It was really nice, but at the same time, I felt something was missing, and I studied business management. I majored in finance, so that was not something I could see myself doing for the rest of my life. And I was like, okay, I think maybe I realized there was some creative streak, but I was not very aware of it or, how I wanted to pursue it. So I thought I'll just take a break. So there's no conscious decision like, oh, okay,
You went with the flow.
Yeah, I just went with the flow and I was like, okay, let me take a break, go back to India, go back to Assam and see from there on how, what to do next. And then I thought I'm just taking a break, and then it just happened that the Eclectic magazine we were all discussing as a family and things, and it just it just happened that we started it, and then I got really really involved in it. It started off as a family venture, and then of course I was running it solo for 11 years. Yes, yeah. And so that's when I realized that I lived outside for almost 8 years. And then I was like, I know so little about my own region. And that's how I started with more curiosity. So wanted to know more about all the other states, wanted to know more about other people, other stories, And that's how the magazine started highlighting people from different fields, change makers, achievers, and that's how I got connected to all the different states and made friends through all the media related work. It's Nagaland, Arunachal, everywhere. So ran the magazine for 11 years, and then print sort of started declining because people were converting to all digital. And then COVID also hit. So I sold my first business on. And because I was also I think print, something print. I started losing interest in print as well. And I was like, okay, I will take a break from media. I think I'm done with media for a bit. And then I met my friend Karma Paljo, who's the co-founder of EastMojo.
Okay.
So he's like, oh, I'm coming back to Northeast from Delhi. He was in Singapore, and then let's do something together, this time in digital. And that's how I again got involved in media. So EastMojo has been running for almost 6+ years now. Yes, again, we have managed to be successfully being the most credible news brand in Northeast. So digital channel, most credible digital channel, and I think so the journey has been interesting to highlight all the stories and issues of Northeast through authentic, writing and journalism. Yes, yeah.
That's amazing, ma'am. A lot of people usually think that if someone's starting an entrepreneurial venture, it's something that they've put in a lot of thought into. This is a very refreshing take on it. So as you said about Eclectic and Northeast and EastMojo, we wanted to know that since it's highlighting the stories of Northeast region, I would like to know what is the one challenge that you face and the one opportunity that you have while showcasing the stories of this region.
I think one of the challenges that we face and still continue facing is one because most of the places are still very disconnected and remote. So logistically, every time we have to cover a story or go to another state, it becomes a little challenging. Although I think the gap has been reducing. It's like earlier I remember like most of the states were not really connected with each other, but nowadays there are more forums.
Yeah.
So there's more networking happening between the states, so it's easier access. And I think there's more frequent traveling, like people from Assam will keep going to different places in Northeast. So I think access has become easier, but still at the same time, I think it still continues to be a challenge to do stories in an efficient, in a cost-efficient way. So I think that's one. And opportunity-wise, I think yes, it's like there's so many stories. Whether it's people, places,
traditions, everything.
It's just like
filled
multiple ways of avenues of stories. So so that's there. So I think that is the exciting part, and it still continues to be untapped. This story these continue to be untapped in the mainstream. Yeah, people locally might be more but within the state, within Northeast, people will not be aware. I'm still not. I don't think I will know all about the tribes of Northeast of Nagaland yet. So in that way, I think there is plenty of opportunities to tell stories.
Explore.
Yeah, to explore. Yes, yeah. And,
that's amazing, and it is actually interesting. I've also personally liked talking to people and getting to know them, and one of the reasons why we are doing this podcast and getting to know you is a pleasure, ma'am. So coming on to the hot topic, Brahmaputra Valley Film Festival. First of all, ma'am, congratulations for the 9th edition that's coming up, and we are looking forward to it. Ma'am, it has become such a landmark event now. So what do you think, what is your envisioning as to how it will affect the future of cinema and storytelling in Northeast?
Yes, we started off first in 2013, and it's been 11 years since the first festival, and it's our 9th edition, starting from tomorrow. So, of course, it started with a lot of enthusiasm and excitement. It's something different that, we have never done. And also some property like this was never there in this part of the country. So we were like, okay, this sounds exciting. Let's start a film festival, and we'll get some guests, we'll get some good movies, we'll have conversations. And the first 2-3 editions was all about just organizing and putting it together and understanding how to do a film festival. Because I think as an entrepreneur, if you understand, it's not like we know A to Z of everything. It's like the process of learning while you're doing it. Yes, yeah. So I think it took us almost 3-4 years to understand and establish the festival. And by the time, I think it had been recognized within Northeast, of course, and a little bit across India as well. There is a festival in Guwahati. And I think from there on, our effort has been to sustain it and to grow it year on year. Then, of course, we took a break during COVID. And then after COVID, we were like, okay, let's reinvent it, do it a little differently. So we shifted from ITA Machkua to Jyoti Chitraman.
Okay.
Then now we have 4 halls parallelly doing, we do different things. So one we have showcase feature films, one we have documentary, short films, talks and discussions, and another one we have master classes and knowledge sessions. So yes, if you see, in 3.5 days, it's packed. There's a lot of things for movie lovers, filmmakers, but whether it's film students, for everyone, there's something for everyone. So basically the vision is that how do we create a creative hub, in this side of the country.
Yeah.
Because of course, when you talk about films, Bombay is even South,
Tollywood.
Yes. And so now, we wanted to create a hub here where people don't really have to step out. And because every time we are again, the same thing, we are disconnected, we are remote. So every time we have to venture out.
Yeah.
And which is happening. All our youngsters are all going out, working, doing things. So how do we get people to come here and exchange culture, knowledge, learn from each other? So it has been our endeavor to get some of the most prominent, renowned filmmakers from across India, especially from Bombay, and to come and interact with budding and aspiring filmmakers from here, talent from here, So the challenge has been to basically how do we get access, so the talent gets access to knowledge and learning right here, and we try to bridge the gap. And because I think Northeast, it's anyways, I think we are blessed with a lot of creativity and creative people, whether it's in music, films, arts, crafts, So I think, somehow, for this last 11 years, our efforts have paid off in building the brand. But of course, the efforts continue. The challenges are always there to grow it, to make it bigger, So I think, yes, but I think we'll be on it because I think it's a passion project and we want to make sure that we make it happen, the vision. So it's happening, but we need to make sure it's established.
It's actually very, great and incredible thing that you're doing, and having access for learning here itself is one thing that I have seen. I'm personally not from Northeast, but I've done my graduation and I've stayed here. And this is one thing that I've noticed, that most of the people do not see the opportunities here, maybe because of lack of a lot of learning opportunities here. So that is a great thing that you're doing, and I'm personally
career opportunities also.
Nowadays I think it's getting better.
Yes.
And it's thanks to people like you. And I'm personally extremely excited for the festival. So
awesome! We must attend all 4 days.
Yeah, we will. And good luck, ma'am. Apart from that, let's go on to the next question. So with Tattva Creations, like that you work at Tattva Creation and Atvi Infotainment, you've been on the front foot of digital content creation. So what are the current trends in digital content creation that you are hooked on to?
Okay. See, I think trends keep changing all the time, So with changing algorithms, changing interests, and I think, that's always changing. But I feel at the core, people, whether it was traditional media earlier, whether people consumed content in print or on TV, or now people are consuming content digitally. I think your content has to be strong and it has to be connected to what you're interested, your passion area is, right? And it can range from anywhere. You want to learn something about technology, you just go and search for something and you get something online. So I would say the range is from technology to spirituality. It's all there, So I think, but at the core, content has to be strong. Because then it might take a little bit of time for people to, find your channel or find you. But ultimately, then if your content is strong, it will do well. And there's only so much that marketing or paid marketing can take you. Of course, that's a short-term solution to make sure it reaches people. But I think for long-term, the content has to be strong. So I think even with changing trends, I think we're still catering to human beings. So I think we'll have to make sure that the content, touches people's, mind, emotions,
and stay stuck.
Yes.
That's true, and there's so much to learn from you. That's amazing. I'm just taking in all the information. It's just brilliant. Okay, and let's come to the next thing. And I would like to know one thing. You have founded Any Leaders, and you are a fellow Aspen. So, how would you say has it changed your approach towards leadership? Like, how has it evolved your approach?
Yeah. Yes. So, I've been fortunate, very early on, a bunch of friends of us, had connected and we got together and founded the Northeast Leaders Connect. And there are people from different fields who have been doing well from across the states, whether it's sports, politics, business, media. So all of us have come together, and the whole idea is basically how do we encourage more people, more young youth to do well, or to inspire them, or to help to mentor them. So that is the idea. The Northeast Leaders Forum was started by Bachchan Bhutia and another friend of mine, Hekani Jakadu, and a lot of us are like co-founded. Yeah, so it has been a great, brilliant journey with all of them as well. I think that we started it in 2000. The first conference happened in 2011. Yeah, so that's the one. And then, yes, I think 2014 or 15, I got selected for the Aspen Fellowship. So Aspen Fellowship is it's run by the Aspen Institute in Aspen, US. And the vision is basically to connect like-minded people, leaders from across the world, but people who authentically want to do well for society or for the community at large, and to take on leadership from a good place, to lead from the heart, Yes. So I think that has been one common goal for all the Aspen leaders. So that has been quite enriching because we had almost 4 seminars, 4 weeks of seminars through 2 years, where we were talked about different, where we had to discuss different leadership across business, politics, and things like that. So to learn from their techniques, their approaches, their decision making. So I think yes, of course, somewhere it has definitely helped build a part of me as well. Yes, so I'm grateful for the opportunities that have come across my way.
And I'm grateful that you have eventually founded such a platform where budding entrepreneurs can actually take help and get mentoring. There are so many other people and so many of our viewers actually who are trying to come up in the entrepreneurial field, and they do need that mentoring. So thank you for that. So coming to the last question, but not the least, being a woman entrepreneur, you've won many accolades, especially like Global Women Achievers Award. What is your advice to women, budding women and entrepreneurs who are trying to navigate their life through the startup ecosystem?
When you say advice, it's first I think it's very important to identify what you enjoy, what your interests are. So figure out, your passion. And I think I was quite reckless that way. I jumped into entrepreneurship without thinking much, but I think most entrepreneurs are like that. But if you can identify your passion, interests early on, do some work around it. And then if you feel like you really want to take the leap of faith and do things on your own, so I think that's great. I don't think we should think as a man or a woman or a girl or boy. I think end of the day, I feel like we are all human beings. We should think from that. So moment we start thinking okay, we are this or that, or okay, we are from a disadvantaged segment, then we are already putting the mindset that that okay, maybe things will be challenging for me. No, why? Things are equally okay, as a start at the starting point for everyone, I think. So that way, I think my advice would be identify your passion, nurture it for a while, and then have the courage, if you really want to be an entrepreneur, have the courage to just jump into it.
Yeah, take the risk.
Take the risk, yes.
That was amazing, ma'am. Thank you. I think that helped a lot of our viewers. Yes. And one last thing that I would like to know is, what is the legacy that you want to leave behind?
I don't know. I think I've thought about this. I'm not very comfortable with the word legacy or things like that. I feel like living in the moment, being present is more important. So, while I'm here, while I'm at it, what is that little bit that I can contribute, and while at the same time enjoying it, and spreading that as well. That
enjoyment in your passion, especially passion in your work is important.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much for giving us the time, ma'am. Thank you.